All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling on the GSMC Sports Network. So make sure you guys, make sure you guys tune in. All right, just gonna reflect on what we talked about right quick. We talked about our WWE Friday Night SmackDown review. We had our WWE, although it's long overdue. I agree. We have the preview. Also, we talk about some possible directions of post Crown Jewel. This is the Fallout show of Crown Jewel. Show should be pretty awesome. Can't wait. And I'm gonna talk about our WWE Crown Jewel reaction. So, definitely love hearing from you guys. Remember, make sure you guys, hit up the tips and donations link. Also, hit up that super chat, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Don't sell your guys short ever, like ever, ever, ever. So, let's talk about some WWE Crown Jewel. I can't wait to talk about it. It was, for an event happening in Saudi Arabia, basically anywhere not on American soil. I got to be honest, I liked it. I thought it had good bookings. It had more than three or four matches, which was great. I definitely loved the production value of it as well. I loved how like you kind of felt like a Royal Rumble kind of feel. You felt like a SummerSlam kind of worthy event. And kind of like a WrestleMania. Like I talked about it on the previous segment how these guys, basically everybody living in Saudi Arabia who have a chance to watch the WWE. If you don't have the money to kind of fly to America and watch, SummerSlam or Elimination Chamber or stuff like that, you could always depend on it to come in your hometown. So this was like, for them, this is like once in a lifetime WrestleMania kind of stuff. I love it. I thought it was great. Definitely on my list of definitely top five, top three of my favorite crown jewels, to be honest, because we had some bad ones. There was some pretty bad ones. Obviously, maybe I should do a segment about my crown jewel, you know, rankings or whatever like that. But overall, I thought it was decent. Thought it was decent. All right, so first match kicked off. It was an exciting one. We had the original Bloodline taking on this new young Bloodline of Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga Tungaloa going up against Roman Reigns, the original Tribal Chief. And I don't know why Sami Zayn is all because Sami Zayn, he interfered in the match after, not after, but he didn't interfere, but he came in the match. The kind of Jimmy and Jay Uso, the Usos recently found a spot back together. I don't know how long it's going to last. But overall, I felt like the match was great. I felt like it was, you had Solo Sikoa, clearly, cleanly pin Roman Reigns, like pretty damn clean. Like it was to the point where I was kind of like, wow, I feel like WWE ultimately is doing this because Solo Sikoa has never really been taken seriously. I know I haven't. I have not taken him seriously. I feel like, Jacob Fatu outshines him. Damn, even Tamatonga, outshines him sometimes. But, it was a great way to establish Solo Sikoa as maybe a possible threat heading towards Survivor Series because, the way it was going with Roman Reigns, they had to lose. They had to lose this match. They definitely had to lose this match for momentum purposes, just so people could, kind of approach this main event in War Games at Survivor Series, as a little more seriously. And of course, you saw the new Bloodline pick up the victory. Then you saw Sami Zayn came out, at first kind of extending his arms to a hug to the new Tribal Chief Solo Sikoa, but then hitting up with an exploder suplex. Then of course he was mauled. Then you saw Jimmy Uso come to the aid. You saw Roman Reigns kind of in the corner. He was beaten down before, and then you saw Solo Sikoa stand up in the middle, and it was you saw Sami Zayn trying to attempt a haluva kick, and then you saw Roman Reigns trying to hit a Superman punch. Obviously, didn't really work out, and you could tell after the match, Roman Reigns was kind of sitting there. He was like he wanted to go back to the way he used to be, and kind of just like berate people and just kind of blame them for the loss. But then you kind of saw him like come to that sudden realization. I was like, you know what? Like I can't be that way anymore. I have to be a little bit more understanding. Does he trust Sami Zayn? As of right now, I wouldn't really say yes because he was trying to steer Jey Uso off the path of, joining the OTC's bloodline with him and his, brother Jimmy. So all in all, I thought it was a great match. Definitely leaving a lot of storylines open for the next couple of months. and also building up towards Survivor Series. So I thought they did their job pretty well. Next, we have a fatal four-way match for the WWE Women's World Tag Team Championships. First and foremost, Michael Cole and Corey Graves made an eminent, that the only reason why Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill lost the championships, first of all, was because of a triple threat. They weren't ever pinned, and I thought that was actually kind of funny. I knew that they had to win this one. I knew that they had to win this one, and it was a great match. It was an amazing match. Definitely my second favorite match of the card. I thought it was great. All these 8 women were phenomenal. I got to be honest. I definitely love Jade and Bianca Belair. Damage Control. Huge fan of Kairi Sane with that insane elbow hitting Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Definitely love the antics of Chelsea Green trying to attempt a backflip, but kind of was like, you know what? I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can do like that. I thought that was funny as hell. I thought that was super cool. You saw a metaphor as well. Do what they did best. Lash Legend is amazing. Definitely one of the most impressive women superstar in this day and age. I definitely would love to see her win WWE NXT Women's World Championship. Hell, maybe even make it on the main roster. I think she could do phenomenal things. The crowd super into it. We got a "This is awesome" chant. I thought that was badass. The bodysuits on the girls looked absolutely phenomenal, and I'm not trying to be like that. Not trying to be like that, because in Saudi Arabia it's different in terms of what the women could wear, how much skin they could actually show, based on like religious purposes and culture. So so then I had this anticipation that these girls were going to be, they were going to be like head to toe, dressed. In the past, there's been some costumes, some things that was kind of like, that kind of looks a little wonky, but obviously that's the culture, so you can't really complain about it. But I thought the bodysuits, it looked good. They make sense. It looked like there was some awesome, colors. I feel like gotta even, on this show, we talk about praising WWE superstars, but on this case, we're talking about praising people in costume design, hair and makeup and stuff like that. I thought they did really, really well. Carol Jackson definitely, she looked all right. She talks the talk, but inside the ring, I feel like she could definitely be, I feel like she could definitely be a little more better hitting her spots and stuff like that. But not by all means, not trying to throw shit at her. I thought overall her performance was amazing, but kind of reminds me of like kind of like her and Liv Morgan, how she could definitely. There's always room for improvement. Like what I mean. I'm not here standing here. No, sorry, my bad. Sitting here on the mic, be like, oh, I'm the best podcaster in the world. I never bought crap. Um, that's not true. That's not true. Sometimes I do use a lot of vocalized pauses like and or so obviously this is what we do. We practice. Practice makes perfect. Give me some reps, dog, and we'll make it work out. But overall, I definitely did love the match as a whole, and I love the outcome of the match as well. Seth Rollins taking on Big Bad Bronson Reed. Several stomps could not finish this Australian monster. And after the match, you saw him standing in the ring, telling Seth Rollins that, "Hey, dog, this is not over. I might be bleeding." I definitely did love that blood spot. I don't know if it was bleeding, but it was great. It was great, and especially for a rivalry like this, it was appropriate. It was very appropriate. These two are going to see each other within future and within the match. I definitely loved how Bronson Reed, he looked great. He looked like he was ready to take on this responsibility of becoming a main eventer. Seth Rollins as well. Getting that win, building up momentum for a potential WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Winning the belt, taking on CM Punk at WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas, Nevada. It all starts with this. It all starts with this momentum where Seth Rollins, coming back from an injury, coming back from, with the knee injury, he needs to establish himself once again, not as a successful superstar, because as the WWE Universe, that he can already be that based on his accolades. He needs to kind of establish himself that he can stay healthy. He can, a couple of, knee injuries. It's bad. It's bad. And that could set back a lot of wrestlers, because like if you think about it, your knee, your legs in general, but your knee, I feel like in particular, it does absorb a lot of the, of the pressure when you jump off the top rope, when you land inside the ring, when you're hitting like a splash, and then you have to like, obviously, it's choreographed. You don't like land on like bam. You kind of have to like place your knees and stuff like that. You have to sell matchups. You have to sell basically everything. And the way Seth Rollins did it in this match, I felt like it was a nice little like kind of like what he was talking about with Adam Pearce being like, you have to give me this match because I need to test myself. I need to know what are my limitations, and I want you to know, as the Raw general manager, who Seth Rollins actually is. And I felt like he established that to a crap ton. And it's, the same with Bronson Reed. I felt like there was no literal loser in this match. I thought this match was a huge win from the get go. So definitely give this match an A+ in my book. Next, we have the WWE Women's World Champion Liv Morgan taking on the WWE Women's Champion Nia Jax in this Crown Jewel Championship match. I thought the match was, I thought it was, I thought it was good. I thought it was good. And Nia Jax did definitely have a couple of spots where she oversell the move. Well, not oversell it. I don't want to say that. She definitely did sell the move to the point where it did make Liv Morgan seem like, she is the champion that she is. And I definitely, I love and respect that. Obviously, these two have a history behind the curtain. They're friends. They have good spots together. When you have that friend chemistry inside the ring, it's just phenomenal. So Nia one day would like woke up and like was like, oh, Triple H is having the champions face against each other in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. She's like, cool, I get to work with Liv. You know what I mean? So I thought these two, their chemistry was phenomenal. The outcome of the match I thought was pretty badass. Once again teasing that um that Money in the Bank cash in by Tiffany Stratton was, it was all right. It was all right. I feel like there's been a lot of teases so far. And, obviously after this, you're going to see Nia Jax and the Tiffany Stratton storyline head to more of a darker, more than it kind of already is, because she's grabbed Tiffany by the throat, disrespected her with her words. And, the WWE Universe wants Tiffany Stratton to turn and cash in on Nia Jax. That's something that WWE is, slow playing. So, on Friday Night SmackDown, you're going to see Nia Jax definitely blaming Tiffany Stratton for her loss. So, mostly building up toward like a betrayal, kind of like we saw with Shawn Michaels and Big Daddy Cool Diesel, like Triple H and, Batista in Evolution, kind of like that same marksman. So it should be pretty cool. It should be pretty badass. I can't wait to watch it. Once again, I feel like Liv Morgan cannot be cashed in. She has way too many insurance policies. She's always protected either by Raquel Rodriguez or Dominic Mysterio. Definitely think cashing in on hers going to be harder. You're not cashing in on one person, you're cashing in on three. And the only person that seems like it makes sense, the only person that it seems like it could be, relatively a fair fight is cashing in against Nia Jax. So that, and all in all, it should be cool. I did kind of read this report that they did not have the cash in by Tiffany Stratton because they did not want to overshadow Liv Morgan's moment winning the first ever Crown Jewel Women's Championship. Obviously, like I mentioned before, we'll talk about the bodysuits and the culture of Saudi Arabia. Sometimes women, it's more of a more of a journey, more of a kind of like a setting where you know you are celebrated because that's the culture. That's the culture. They do celebrate their women. For them inside, Saudi Arabia, they don't want their women to show skin because the woman's body is sacred. Obviously, as opposed to the United States, where women are like, oh, the body's sacred, but here in the United States, for a woman to show that she's confident, for a woman to have confidence in her body, and to be like, oh, I look good, like they can go out wearing like tank tops and short shorts and stuff like that. Different cultures, 1,010%. Obviously, not hating, not throwing any kind of shade, but kind of have a woman kind of in the limelight, kind of in the spotlight, like Liv Morgan had, and like you saw her in her speech, she was crying. She was damn near crying. She was letting out that early Liv Morgan wrestling fan kind of girl that used to work at, Hooters and stuff like that. Like she was crying. She was, she felt honored, and she was standing side by side with the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes at the end of the match. You saw Jeddah Saudi Arabian like politicians there shaking their hands, and the city thanked them. The fans were absolutely phenomenal, And all in all, I thought it was a good spot. And Liv Morgan definitely did reserve that, definitely deserved that, kind of reservation in terms of the, that attention and stuff like that. Randy Orton, Kevin Owens. This match ended up in a no contest. I definitely love the trolling by Kevin Owens wearing that Cowboy Bob Orton shirt. I thought that was pretty badass. The match was waved off due to a lot of chaos. Adam Pearce was RKO'd. Maybe that's going to be addressed tonight on Monday Night Raw. I know there's been speculations that Adam Pearce might take on Nick Aldis on Survivor Series. I personally don't want to see that. I don't want to see that. I feel like the reason why Pearce and Aldis is great in terms of the WWE right now is you do not have them in any kind of storylines. Usually you had the Raw general manager screwing somebody. Like, you know what I mean? When it was Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan, when you had Stephanie McMahon with Mick Foley, and then Stephanie McMahon and Kurt Angle, Teddy Long, and then you had Eric Bischoff, you had all these, AJ Lee, you have all these former general manager, Vicky Guerrero, all these former general managers found a way to kind of insert themselves into the wrestling storyline. And it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. It was BS. It was bullspit. It was terrible. You can't have the officials kind of do it. That's like the Vince McMahon era. During the Vince McMahon era, as the chairman of the board, as the ultimate antagonistic character, the bad guy, the corporate, bully, it would only work under Vince. I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to be like, Vince was all high and great and high and mighty and stuff like that. Because I do have a negative, annotation in terms of Vince McMahon, but neither here nor there. But I feel like ultimately, you have to keep the suits out of it. You got to keep the suits out of it, and him getting RKO was kind of crazy. You saw a flying elbow sorry, excuse me, Kevin Owens on Randy Orton through the table. Obviously, these guys, their feud has just began. Should be badass. Triple threat match for the United States Championship lived up to the hype. Definitely one of my favorite championships. One of my favorite matches of the night. Um, you saw LA Knight go out there and be absolutely phenomenal. He was great. You saw Andrade go out there and be absolutely phenomenal. Not Andre, Carmelo Hayes going out there and just proving that he belongs inside that ring. Usually, every single triple threat match, there's always like a scapegoated, kind of character that's kind of been, kind of forced off to the side where you have the two people who actually deserve the championship go at it. This time, you saw all three guys get a piece of the pie, baby. They went out there. It was great. All three guys were in it. On three separate occasions, people were chanting for Carmelo Hayes. People, on a separate occasion, you saw people chanting for the LA Knight. And then on a separate occasion, you have people chanting for El Idolo Andrade. These three guys went in there and had an amazing match, and they deserve all the flowers. They deserve all the credit. It just sucks that there's only one title, one mid-card title that these guys have to constantly fight for because, in my opinion, these three men should be holding championships on their own. But like I said, as coming from a wrestling fan, these three were absolutely phenomenal. They were great. Lastly, going to keep this short. Running out of time on this segment. Gunther controlled most of the match. He was unbeatable. He was unpinnable. Cody Rhodes tried everything inside his arsenal, but it wasn't enough to defeat Gunther. It took like a cheap roll up because sometimes when you've given your opponent all you got, you've hit all your special signature moves, and you tried to, you try a submission, you try this and that and the other, and sometimes you kind of have to go down a road that you're not necessarily proud of. And so Cody Rhodes saw it as an opportunity. He's like, you know what? F it. Why not? Let's do it. Let's see how this works out. And he got that 1, 2, 3. You could tell like once when he got done, like he was like surprised. He was like, oh my God, like what the hell? It was kind of crazy. Like he did not know that he was going to win, although everybody in the world knew that he was going to win. But Gunther, this match did not make him look like the weaker champion. He went out, I loved the handshake. I love it when wrestlers, they shake each other's hands at the end of the match. It's just, it's that blurred line between kayfabe and reality. I definitely think it's going. I definitely think Gunther is a stand-up wrestler. He's definitely one of the best wrestlers in this modern day and age of professional wrestling. Both men looked good. Obviously, Cody Rhodes was the one to win the championship at the end, but overall, Gunther put on one hell of a match. And I got to be honest. I owe Gunther an apology. I kind of thought he was going to be like a Damian Priest, kind of a bridge champion to kind of hold it from until Seth Rollins got healthy, and now they're going to have Seth taking on CM Punk. But I got to be honest. I want to see Gunther. I want to see him last a long time. I want to see him, run as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because his modus apparatus or his reputation, so to speak, better said, has been known for putting on quality matchups. And once again, in the main spot, he has not he's not let us down. So, we definitely had the two best superstars on the WWE roster holding the main prestigious goals on Raw and SmackDown. And, as a WWE, if you're a WWE official or a creative officer, you're happy about this. These are two very marketable champions. Gunther, amazing, dominant. Cody Rhodes, loved, beloved by all, charismatic, that hero kind of feel that a lot of people kind of put their eggs in the basket and be like, oh my god, I can't wait to watch Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes is he truly is he's amazing. He's both these guys amazing. Can't wait to watch more things unfold heading out towards Survivor Series. So it should be cool. All right, guys, we're gonna jump onto our fourth segment, running out of time rapidly. We're gonna talk about some Montez Ford frustrated with WWE and their creative team. We're gonna talk about that when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.